everybody. We're back. I am Yasmina of Just Say Yeah. And I'm here, of course, with Shawuana, aka Lightning. We are here to talk to you about what it means to love me, love life, love healthy. And of course, as you know, I am Thunder.
Yes, and I am Lightning.
And together,
We
are
are
the
the
perfect
perfect
storm.
storm.
So we are absolutely excited to be here today. We're going to talk about what it means to be victorious, what it means to be an overcomer. And we are super excited because we have a wonderful spirit here that's here with us today
Yes.
by the name of Virginia Logan. We're going to go ahead and hear her voice. There she is. Hello, beautiful.
Virginia.
Hi, good evening, good evening.
Hello. Can you please introduce yourself to everyone?
Hi everyone. My name is Virginia Logan. I am so grateful to be here with you guys today. I'm so excited. Uh, little nervous. I've never done anything like this before, really. Um, but I'm so excited to be here, and thank you all for having me.
Absolutely. We are super excited, and we are super excited, with the subject matter that it is today. You are the perfect person to come on here and share with us. So we want all of you to know that we are here and we're going to share with you. Virginia's going to share some things about her story, and why she truly is the picture of an overcomer, someone who goes forward no matter what. Before we begin, though, I would like to say this. I want to give you, because we're going to talk about a very tough subject, but a subject that must be addressed, a
Yes.
subject that the awareness must grow in such a great way, especially we're in the pandemic and during COVID. It's a subject that was on the rise because of people being in home, being shut in.
Yes.
So according to the National Coalition, hold on, sorry, you know me and my sight, okay? Lightning's my eyes, really.
Bless.
According to domestic violence, as defined by National Coalition Against Domestic Violence, says domestic violence is the willful intimidation, physical assault, battery, sexual assault, and or other abusive behavior as part of a systemic pattern of power and control perpetuated by one intimate partner against another. It includes physical violence, sexual violence, psychological violence, and emotional abuse. The frequency and severity of domestic violence can vary dramatically. However, the one constant component of domestic violence is one partner's consistent efforts to maintain power and control over the other. And I also want to point out, they had put the word in intimate power, intimate partner, but I want everyone to understand it's between an X also. So,
Yes.
so we want to bring awareness to this.
Absolutely.
So we have Virginia here to share some of that with us. So, Lightning, let them hear your voice. Tell them
Yes,
hello.
Hello, everyone. Hello. It's always such a pleasure and an honor to be with you all on these first and third Saturdays to share. And I'm so glad that we're talking about bringing awareness to domestic violence. I don't know if we specifically have touched on that
We haven't.
since being on the show. So I think this is a very, very good topic to talk about. And thank you, Virginia, for coming on to share with us on today. We are so honored to have you. We need to have these discussions,
do.
and I
We
think that
do.
it will help some people. And feel free, everyone. Comment, let us know. And if you absolutely need some support or want to talk to someone, please reach out. I think that's what we really want to encourage in the end, and get the help that you need. But we want to talk about this on the day, and so we're so excited just to come to you all and to be able to do that on today. I'm
Absolutely.
excited.
And of course, the theme, just say yeah, and it's about learning how to live, to be able to say to yourself that I love me,
Yes.
I love life, I live healthy.
There you
Well,
go.
one of those things,
There you go.
for people who are in this situation, it's very difficult to do so. So we're going to go
Yes.
ahead and do things a little out of order. We normally have
Right.
the person talk with us from in the beginning, but we introduce and highlight at the end.
Right.
Well, we're going to highlight at the beginning.
Let's
we're
do
going to
it.
go
Let's
ahead
do
and
it.
do it different because we can.
That's
So
right.
Virginia, tell us, what story brings you here today?
Well, man, to me, it's my experience, right? Through it all, and not knowing I didn't even know I was in a domestic violence situation. I always thought, domestic violence was like bruised face and broken
Right.
bones and, all of that sort of things. I didn't know it was also mental, spiritual abuse, and ended up in that situation, a little bit of violence, enough that, I was told, ended up in a shelter,
Let me
several
ask you
shelters
this.
with my
I'm
kids,
I'm I'm sorry to interrupt, but I want to set the stage for everyone. So you were. Let me ask. So you were in a relationship with someone?
yes, a
Okay.
marriage.
A marriage.
And
Okay.
yes. And I'm not gonna talk a whole lot about myself, but I just wanted to lead up why domestic violence awareness is so important to me.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Okay,
Absolutely.
so long story short, I ended up in a domestic violence situation. I didn't think at the time it was as drastic, until I seek counseling um, in a shelter because that's where I ended up with my kids.
Absolutely.
And they're like, that's the worst. You're in the worst. There's no marks. There's no, and your life could just easily be taken, and nobody ever would know that you were being abused, right?
Mm.
So that opened my eyes. I felt like the earth was swallowing me,
Wow.
when, they were telling this to me, very hard situation um, to go through or to realize, that you're in that much danger. Um, but thank God for good people and good
Yes.
shelters that I did not know existed,
Right.
Um, and they helped me out, um got me everything I needed, so it was a journey, right, for me and my kids, from that point on.
Mm-hmm.
And now, my goal is to raise awareness and,
Yes.
give people in the situation hope, right? Because when I was going
Absolutely.
through all of that, I didn't have hope. I didn't feel like anybody was there for me. I didn't feel like there was help out there. I didn't know. So it's very important to me to raise awareness now and let, women know that there is hope if you're in this situation. You can come out of this. You will come out of this, you know. You just
Absolutely.
have to seek help, and there's help out there.
I,
So,
I like the points that you're pointing out, and
Yes.
it's because the word silent came to me. It seems like it's something that so many people suffer in silence,
Yeah.
and there's a stigma with it,
Mm-hmm.
um,
hmm
and shame that can be attached to it.
Mm-hmm.
Although the person is the victim,
Yeah.
feeling as if somehow it's their
Their
fault. That's
fault.
what it seems like happens in those situations. And so,
hmm
just even having the courage to move forward, to be able to get to the shelter, to be able to share with others, and to move forward. I just
Yeah.
thank you for sharing this hard topic.
Absolutely, absolutely. And like you said, Virginia, you were able to get to a place where eventually led you to overcome. Sometimes, you see people get stuck, and like you said, that whole stigma, that silent part, that keeps them there. And
Yes.
it's almost as if
Yes.
you're just keeping yourself bound to that situation, which sometimes can actually be fatal, and we've seen that
Absolutely.
unfortunately. But, we don't
hmm
want people to stay in those situations. That's why I'm glad that you were able to get out of it and share your story because that gives other women hope. And I also want to say this, I guess domestic violence, now we don't want to keep this as if it's just women just being victims. We do
No,
know
no,
that
men
men are
and women.
victim as well. So
Men,
men, we want
women,
to let you
children,
know we're not,
yes.
singling just the women out only, but we
Thank
understand that
you.
it can be
That's
men
right.
as well.
Absolutely.
But for you having that courage and sharing the story, it's going to give so many other people hope. And like you said, seek out that help. That way, it comes to a place to where yes, they can overcome these things. overcome, which is, what we're talking about. And I feel like there's so much power in that itself when we talk about overcoming.
Yes.
Particularly, we're talking about, in this case, domestic violence, but, it could be a variety of things.
Yes.
Fear over a loss, over, so many different things. We can talk about what you may overcome in your life. But the thing is, we must know it's possible.
Absolutely. We are truly all overcomers. That
Overcomers.
God has,
Yes.
has put that in us to be, and you are truly a testimony, a testament to that.
Absolutely.
I noticed also one of the things you said, a lot of times when we get in situations, something you said stuck out. We don't know where to go. You were talking about, as far as the shelters, you were blessed to be able to eventually find one, but initially not knowing what to do or where to go.
Yeah.
So what we're going to do in the program, we're going to put up a couple of numbers before the show is over, just so that way you guys will know. We'll put up the number for the national hotline. And then I'm also going to put up a number for our Fresno area. Of course, every city, which is why I would advise everyone to connect with the hotline and find out where it is in your city. So we will put that up before the show ends. But I do want to point out one such shelter here in our area. The Marjorie Mason Center. The Marjorie Mason Center has been an active domestic violence shelter since 1979. After the death of Fresno State student Marjorie Mason in November 1978. The Marjorie Mason Center was founded and named in her honor after the approval of her parents. Marjorie Mason attended Fresno State in 1978 as a business administration major. Her life was cut short at 36 years old when her ex-boyfriend kidnapped, raped, and murdered her in her home. So that, first of all, every story of domestic violence is fatal and is tragic. Some, unfortunately, many end in death. And this is unfortunately one such story. We, in Fresno area, we do have the Marjorie Mason Center. And again, we will put up the number before the show is over. As a shelter, a place of refuge that individuals can go to who are in this situation.
Yes.
So we just want to put that out there. Tell us some of the thoughts you were having at the time. And the reason I'm asking that, and of course only share what you feel comfortable with, but I'm asking that because I'm wanting to go to a place. I'm wanting people to understand that although you can have certain feelings, be in certain places, you're still an overcomer. So can you share with us some of those feelings and thoughts and things where that you were going through?
Okay, so, maybe going through alone would have been different, I guess, but I had my children.
Yes.
At that time, my son was like 10 months, and, there was no help. If I had a penny, that would have been a lot.
Right.
So I felt, oh my gosh, like I had nobody. I felt like at that point, God had abandoned me. So, even through all of that, now I know, you're put in certain situations at certain times in your life. And it's not only, for you, right? But at that point, going through that, I felt hopeless. I felt like, I was never gonna come out of this.
Wow.
And through the whole ordeal, because I've been through several shelters with my kids, I've seen women go back to the abuse because of the hopeless feeling they have and the insecurity, that they have, like they can't move forward, they can't do it on their own. And I believe it was only God and my children who kept me sane, right? And God gave me that strength to move on because, my counselors and everybody, they're looking at me and they were checking up on me. And I was wondering, why are they doing this?
Yes.
Right? Like, I'm okay, that's what I would say to them. But they kept on checking up on me. And, after they saw me coming back, I guess, and, that strength was there and they didn't think that I would break, they said, like, Virginia, we kept on checking on you because most women going through what you're going through through what you're going through, they don't make it.
Mm.
Right.
They end
Mm.
up taking their lives.
Mm.
They end up going insane.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot. It takes a toll on the body, on the mind.
Right.
Um, you know, and man, I just want to see more people overcome this
Yes.
because
That's it.
it was over a period of 5 years, and through that time
Mm.
of transitioning, I've seen a whole lot, from suicide to mental institutions. These women just lose it,
Yeah. Yes.
and it's really sad to me. And I believe if we could raise awareness, right? If we could raise awareness, we could help um, more women and children out, because my heart goes out because, there's a lot of children in this situation. The majority
Right.
of homelessness
Right.
is due to domestic violence.
Right.
And
Mm.
it's, women and children. So it means a lot to me to be on here today. You all having me share my story and, what domestic violence means to me, and to help raise that awareness.
That's right.
I
Absolutely.
never
Thank
want
you.
another woman to feel that hopelessness. I think it's the hopelessness that gets them, like, to a place of no return.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Um, and that's the saddest part.
Right.
So thank you all
You're
again for
No,
welcome.
having me.
Thank
you're
you.
so absolutely welcome. I want to go ahead and let everyone kind of marinate on what Virginia said. And the word anchor came to me when you were saying it.
Yeah.
Your children and God. You know, that was your anchor. Of course, the solid anchor, God.
Absolutely.
Yet, everyone listen though. She was being honest with her experience. She said, but she still felt that God had abandoned her. And I'm saying that because I want people to understand, especially those, when you love the Lord, the last thing you want to say, sometimes you feel bad saying, well, I'm mad at God. You feel bad saying, I don't think he's even, where is he? We feel bad, and because of how that may look to others. But the reality is everybody has felt that at some point. And in a situation such as that, it makes sense. Of course, that would be a thought. However, you still kept God as your anchor.
Yes.
And God has blessed you with your children that allowed that. It's almost like a double anchor there. You weren't gonna be moved. So, and I want everyone to understand that there's always something to hold on to.
Yes.
Always.
No, that there is. And I'm going to thank you again, Virginia. I know I said it before, but thank you for pushing through and not giving up. Your children were dependent on you. You, whether you knew it at the time, were dependent on you.
Yes.
Thank God that you had that moment, that you're sitting here with us right now. And I know you have a heart for those women, and thank you for spreading this awareness. And we want to be able to help you do that as well, along with the others here who are tuning in, because people need to know. You've seen so many people hurt, like you
Yes.
said, over the past 5 years. Those 5 years, you saw those women hurt. Some of those people who unfortunately took their lives or went into mental institutions. So this is real. We're seeing that this is so real. And not only that, like you said, it impacts so many other people. These little lives, for one, who didn't
Yes.
ask to be here, now they're
Yes.
impacted by that.
Yes.
We want to change this for everybody. We want to change this for women, for children, and for men. We have to do better.
We do have to do better. And the word tells us that we overcome by the blood of the Lamb and the word of our
what it
testimony.
says.
So we like
Yes.
to tell it. That's why we have
That's
this show.
it.
The Perfect Storm.
That's
We like to come
it.
here and we like to talk about it. Before I go any
Come
further,
on.
first of all,
Yeah,
you
come
know
on
we
now.
got a pod, Mrs. 3 P's in a pod.
Right.
Lanetta.
Netta.
It's graduation season, and
It
she
is.
is at a graduation, but she is still here with us.
That's
so,
right.
So I definitely have to put
Shout
that
her
shout
out.
out there.
Yes.
Yes. We're going to go ahead and take a break here in a moment, but
Absolutely.
I just want you guys to know this. God will never leave you or forsake you.
No, he will not.
God is your only true solid anchor.
Yes.
There are those out there that you can reach out to. And there's a matter of fact, later in the show, I'm going to show you a signal. If you happen to be on the internet, if you have to be online and you happen to be, there are signals a signal that you can do if you are in this situation.
Okay,
So,
yes.
Virginia, we're going to share that with everyone as well. But for right now, we're going to go ahead and take a break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
When you get hungry, remember Barbecue Bob.
Location is 409 Fresno Street on the corner of Fresno and Jones on the Golden West side of Fresno. The phone number is 559-375-1259, and we invite you to come out. You will not be disappointed.
Hi, everybody. How are you? We're back. I am Yasmina. I am Thunder.
And I am Lightning.
Together,
We are
the perfect storm.
storm.
Of course, we are here talking
Yes.
about what it means to love me, love life, live healthy. It's
it.
very important that we understand that we are three-part beings. God first, He made us a spirit, that we possess a soul, we live in a body, and we have to make sure that we are attending to all three parts. We have to make sure that we're giving ourselves what we need in every area. But the anchor and the source of all of that, of course, is God. So we were talking before we left about God being our anchor in these times, in these difficult situations. We are here talking about bringing awareness to domestic violence. Those of you who just tuned in, we have Virginia Logan here with us to discuss that, to share her story, and just bring awareness to the importance of everyone hearing this, this is not a silent thing, although it is. We need to bring it out. It's our responsibility to use what we can, and we
right.
have this platform to be able to do that, to bring awareness.
Absolutely.
So we thank you, and like Shawuana mentioned, we didn't bring this on here before, and shame on us, but we are now. So thank you
Talk
for
about
that.
it, yes.
An overcomer is a person who overcomes something, one who succeeds in dealing with or gaining control of some problem or difficulty. That means you're overcome whatever it is. Now, everybody understand that we are all built, made, and created to be overcomers. That's just who we are. That's who God, we're created in the image and likeness of God. That's how he made us.
Right. I love
So
that.
you can't get away from it. You just need to utilize it, access that part of you. Psalm 27:1, the Lord is my light and salvation. Of course, I'm not a psalmist, so let me stop. But the Lord is my light and my salvation.
he is.
Whom shall I fear? The Lord is the strength of my life. Of whom shall I be afraid?
That's right.
And if you really think about that in any times or situations where we are feeling overwhelmed,
Right.
in order to be an overcomer, we have to know that. Whom shall we fear? First of all, we're going to fear. We're going to be afraid. We're going to have doubtful moments. Virginia shared feeling hopeless. That's wow.
Yeah.
That's wow. So in those times, knowing where we should put our trust and having our faith remain there is important.
Absolutely. I
Yeah.
agree, especially those who are, believers, and we stand on the word. I mean, the word is a lamp unto our feet and a light unto our path, right? We believe the word to be true. So when God says some things, we need to take that and
Yes,
say,
we
you know
do.
what, Lord, I believe you.
Period.
I believe you when you say, I am more than a conqueror through Christ Jesus. That I can do all things through Christ that strengthens me. Like, we must understand and believe those things and know, say, God, you are for me. And if you be for me, who can be against me? So there's so many scriptures. And I think if you really have a firm foundation, not necessarily a firm foundation in the word, perhaps you don't know the word
Right.
as good as, you feel you should. But there's principles, and we're here to tell you, get connected to him. Build a relationship with Christ. I'm telling you, he will take you through. And I'm sure, like Virginia said, during that time, that's what she leaned on. That's what
Yes.
got her through. That's what gets us through a lot of times. For us, that works. God, that's our
If you only
source.
knew.
If you only knew, right? But all in all, we count on the Lord because he will do it for us. But in this case, domestic violence, get connected to someone. Don't just take it in on yourself. That's too much. God did not design you to have so much of a weight on you and for you not to reach out, because there's help available. He is an ever-present help in the time of trouble. I'm going to let you know that. Now, I'm going to go scripture after scripture, y'all. But listen, just let you know, I get excited.
It's in her. She can't help it. It comes out.
I love it because that's how good he is. And that way, when we go through hard times, that's something that you connect to him. And trust me, he will make a way. He will make a way. In these unfortunate times, it's real. Some people don't want to talk about these issues.
Yeah.
Domestic violence, it's very sad. It's very sad. We want to give people resources, give them resources where they can reach out and contact and get the help that they need. We don't want to see these cycles going on and on and on again. And by way of Virginia being a overcomer, you too, just like she's on here right now speaking to women, and for those men who are watching as well, to know that, listen, she went through it. God is no respecter of person. What he did for her, he can do for you.
That's right.
So we just want to encourage you on them today. Reach out, get that help.
Now I want to, before we go on, because I do want to speak to Virginia about what she's doing today. She set the
Yes.
stage, and I want to see how an overcomer comes out of it. What are some
talk about
steps? What do
that,
they do?
yes.
Where is she at now? Before we go to that, though, I do want to say this. As Lightning said, we of course, we mention women a lot because we're women.
Right.
But we know abuse affects everyone, and men go through this too. So don't think, and Lightning already mentioned that, but I want to say that again. And of course, the victims always the children. So we just want to point that out. And I also want to point this out. It's tragic for both sides.
Yes.
Yes, the person being abused is the victim. but most often the abuser was a victim too.
Come on. Yeah.
So I do want to point that out. I do want you to understand that both people are souls.
Absolutely.
Both people need help. But I want to make it clear for those who know people who are going through this situation or who are in it, it's not a situation that you should be in. Now, I don't like to speak on anything that I'm not, that I feel I can. But that I will say, both sides are souls, hurting souls, but those two hurting souls don't need to be together. If you are being abused, you do need to get away. Yes, the perpetrator needs help, but you cannot help them. You cannot help them. So, we're now,
Come on.
Virginia, tell us, my dear, since then, being in the shelter, tell us kind of bring us to up to date. Like what are some things you did? Where are you today? What's your story today?
I'm doing really well, I believe. You know, I had to re-find myself.
Oh, I
Okay.
love it.
You know, before I was in this situation, I was independent, girl. I had it going, okay? The girl with 2 cars and doing her own thing in her own home, and then, that happened. And, I just want to say this, being in that situation, an abuser will take from you, will literally suck you dry, right? I started believing that I was invisible, that nobody saw me. I felt like an ant, that's how I felt. And, going through counseling, because it's not easy, right?
Right.
Definitely not easy. But going through counseling, and thank God and thanks to my counselors, I was calling my phone. Okay, can you hear me?
We can hear you now.
Okay, I'm sorry about that. Yeah, they kept on just doing what they do. They counseled and they mentored, and I'm so grateful for that. Even the pastor at the church. So I was going to multiple counseling sessions with the pastor, with the counselor, with an advocate, constantly pumping positivity into me. Remember who you were. They kept on reminding me, where were you before this? What did you have? What were you doing? They brought me back to life, right? To remember where I was before all of this happened.
Right.
And I'm so grateful for that, because you believe the lies, abusive people will take it out on you, whatever they're going through, like you said, Yasmina, they often are abused too. And they try to take out their anguish, their anger on someone else, and mainly their spouse, right?
Yeah.
So, man, right now that everything's happened and I'm back in the light, I could see clearly, and I'm like, man, when I was going through it, I was like, God, why did you forsake me? I asked you to help me, you know, not not seeing that he was helping me,
Yes.
right?
He was.
Yes.
My ex, he left the situation. That was a plus, and I'm like, why my family is breaking up, And God was like, girl, I'm helping you, you asked me to help you. I'm helping you, but I couldn't see it then, right? I could not see it. And now looking back, he was preparing me for right where I am right now.
Nice.
Now I know what it is. Now I know how to help others, right?
Yes.
and he just made me for this. I'm like,
That's
I
right.
had to go through that so I could step out and help other people in the
There it
situation, because
is.
I never knew this was going on in the world,
Right,
you know?
right.
So now I know, and I can do something about it,
That's
right?
right.
So right now, I could say I've overcome. How that you've overcome. Well, for me,
Mhm.
I'm not crying anymore.
Come on.
It doesn't hurt anymore. I've accepted that it happened,
That's
right?
good.
And I've moved past all of that. And now the sun is shining. I'm
Mm.
just looking straight forward, you know,
Yes.
and, things are great, positive. I don't have any negative people in my life,
That's very
right?
important.
I don't listen to anything negative. I don't even watch the news,
There you
okay?
go.
Because I'm not letting that get into my
Right,
spirit,
right,
you
right.
know? And I'm just moving forward.
Moving
I'm
forward.
at a really good place. I'm better off than I was before. And praise God.
Praise God. There you
Yes.
go.
Praise God,
Ah,
that I overcame something that I thought was going to kill me.
yeah.
I literally did not think I was gonna survive that. But
Absolutely.
let me tell you, you
Mm.
know, God by your side.
Yes.
Don't let go of his hand.
Yes.
Even though I was like, where are you? I didn't let go. I kept on going to church.
Oh, come on.
I kept on praying,
Mm-hmm.
right? I kept on believing,
Yep.
you know,
I love
and
it.
it happened. He didn't let my hand go,
Oh,
with me the whole way. So
oh, I
um,
love that.
I
I love that.
hope I hope today that somebody, gets value from this.
That's right.
And if they're going through a situation that, that they know that, they can overcome this too.
Yes.
They will, just keep on going, believing in who you are,
Mm,
believe who you are, right? Not who someone else is making you believe that you are.
that's right.
So that's,
Oh,
most of what I have to say about that.
I
Thank
love
you.
it. I
No,
thank
that
you.
was absolutely perfect.
Yes. Can you hear how much joy she
I
has
had,
right now?
that's
Did you
the
hear
part that
I
makes
could
me.
just felt that.
You know what?
Virginia.
I'm emotional
How much joy.
from you sharing your story. Actually, it's emotional, but it's from a place of It's from a place
Yes.
of look where I'm at. Look
And
how faithful God is. That is
Yes, and
that's
that goes
huge.
to the joy of the Lord is our strength.
Yes.
That got her through, and she's showing that joy right
Yes.
now. I mean, oh my goodness. That just
I want when we
my
think
heart.
about this, everyone look at abuse as a whole. There, you of course think about all the aspects of it. Verbal abuse. Now we know how powerful words are, so
Yes,
don't
come on.
believe that verbal abuse doesn't hurt, because it does.
It's abuse,
We know
yes.
what it does. There's life and death in our tongue. So we have to understand when the victim is in that situation and they are being told the things they're being told because they're in a state of mind of feeling like they're hopeless or they have nowhere to go. Now those words, unfortunately, can have power over them
Right.
because their faith is weakened then.
Yeah, but don't you
Because
hear how
they don't-
people say, well, sticks and stones, it break my bones,
and
but
sto-
words will never hurt
Okay,
me.
say
Wait
that
a
one more
minute.
time.
Sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me.
Let
You
me
know, we used
tell
to
you,
hear that a
all
lot.
growing up.
All growing up, right? Words will never hurt
It's
me.
a lie.
It is.
It's a lie. Words hurt.
Words hurt. They
Words
do.
hurt. What you say matters. What I say
Verbal
matters.
abuse.
Well, except for no. What I say matters.
Yes.
We need to be slow to speak, quick to listen, slow
Say it.
to wrath.
That's right. That's
Listen,
right.
everybody. Virginia, that was amazing. We're going to go on another break.
Okay.
And then we'll come back and we're going to close it out. So we'll be right back. When we come back, everybody, we're going to just kind of give you. Virginia actually already shared some tips. It's funny
She did.
because
She
I
did.
put down like 12 tips, just trying to give people something to hold on to. And as she was talking, I'm like, she
Went through.
stole my notes. But she. But the point is because these really do work. So I'm
Yes.
glad she said what she said because it's showing that things work when we work them. Things work when we work them. So we'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. Everybody, how are you? We are back. I'm Yasmina. I am Thunder.
And I am Lightning.
Together we are the perfect storm. And of course, I just have to say it again because Lynetta, we miss you. But we are here with Virginia Logan. She has been sharing some wonderful, first of all, she's been just sharing her. And that's been a beautiful experience. Every part, you truly are beautiful inside, and what you've shared showed us how beautiful you are inside. But you're beautiful, period.
Yes,
so,
she is.
And your smile, your voice. Thank you for sharing with us. Thank you so, so much, and enlightening us on things that we need to know, things that everyone needs to know. You had made a comment earlier that it's a situation before that you didn't realize was so prevalent. You didn't realize was there, and so going through it allowed you to realize coming on the other end, when we look back and see things that, okay, Lord, it's beauty for ashes, truly. What they meant for evil, that doesn't matter what they meant it for. We know what God will do with it. And so you are truly a picture of that, and you're just going forward. So we are going to share. I like to share at least a couple people, but today Virginia was the other two person is going to be a video. It is. We're going to share just a little quick. Here, let me see. It's about Oprah. Oprah says, I'm going to share a few quotes. Oprah says, true forgiveness is when you can say thank you for that experience. I want to make that comment because Virginia is at that place, I believe. now, looking back and going, that was hell, but thank you, Lord. Like, kind of crazy, that's all in one sentence, but it's the truth.
Right.
Another quote, I'm going to read 2 more quotes by Oprah. You don't become what you want, you become what you believe. And I need to say this to everybody. Listen,
Good.
one of the things Virginia said was about the mind shift, about how she felt in one way, the way she looked at her situation. Likewise, looking at it with your naked eye, how she described it makes sense.
Yes.
Which is why you have to have that sixth sense. Which is why you have to stay connected to your anchor. Which is why you have to truly pray and get connected with, she said, counsel.
Yes.
She went to counseling. And we are all about counseling on this show.
Absolutely.
Very important. Matter of fact, the word tells us there's wisdom, there's safety in a multitude of counsel.
Yes.
That's what it says.
Yes, it does.
Yeah, it does. See, we all have our own. I got my own church girl.
That's
right
right.
here. So, another one that Oprah says is the great courageous act that we must all do is to have the courage to step out of our history and past so that we can live in our dreams.
I love it.
And I want to say that to show, and Virginia shows that just by her story, that your story doesn't define you, it's just refining you.
Come on. I like
It's
that.
shaping
Refining
you.
Yes.
And I also want to remind everyone that is going through this situation and those who know people that are. And I know we can be kind of hard on people we know are in that situation because we're like, just leave. Well,
Come on.
we're not in their situation.
That's right.
So I would encourage everyone that knows someone in that situation to be a place of refuge,
I like
to
that,
be a
yeah.
place, to be the safe spot. Not the spot that's pointing at them saying, why are you doing that? We're not in it. So be the encourager to guide them to where they need to go, to the
Absolutely.
resources they need. Let them know you are there for them. They can hear that you are a safe place.
Support. Yes.
Support, very important. Before I want to, when we come back, I want to, Virginia, can we share the signal with everyone that, okay, we'll do that. So now, we just heard Oprah's quotes. We were talking about overcomers. Let's hear a little 2 minutes, 3 minutes about an overcomer. Go ahead, Michael.
Oprah explained that her childhood was filled with abuse that no one should experience. For the first 6 years of her life, Winfrey was raised by her strict grandmother in poverty. Back then, they were so poor that Winfrey often wore dresses made of potato sacks. She whipped me so badly that I had welts on my back, and the welts would bleed. So then I got another whipping for getting blood on the dress. From ages 9 to 13, she was sexually abused by her cousin, uncle, and a family friend. At 14, Winfrey became pregnant, but sadly the baby was born prematurely and died in a hospital weeks later. So, how her life changed? Eventually, Oprah moved away to live with her father in Tennessee, where she attended Tennessee State University and got her start in communications. During high school, Winfrey got a part-time job at a local black radio station. At 19, she began co-anchoring the local evening news. At the time, she was both the youngest news anchor and the first black female news anchor for Nashville WLAC TV. In 1983, Oprah Winfrey's big break came in when she started hosting Chicago WLAS TV, a low-rated half-hour morning talk show, AM Chicago. Within months, the show became the highest-rated talk show in Chicago after Winfrey took over. 3 years later, her show was expanded to a full hour, renamed The Oprah Winfrey Show, and went national, making Winfrey a millionaire. Winfrey's story is a perfect example of what's possible, regardless of where you were born and how you were raised. Turn your wounds into wisdom. So, what's your story?
Thank you, everybody, for watching that with us. I went ahead and highlighted Oprah today because most everyone knows Oprah.
Yes.
And most everyone knows Oprah of today. Yes, people know her story, but, as a child, the abuse that she went through. Overcomer, would you say?
Overcomer, absolutely. I would definitely say she's an overcomer. I mean, think about what she's been through. And your story may be different, but someone may be able to relate to what Oprah went through.
That's right.
And that's so unfortunate as well. But for her to continue to move on and, and just get through life and the success that she has now,
Yes.
That's truly overcoming. That was a difficult situation that she went through. And to
Man.
see her now, I mean, we can look at it. The thing is, I would like to say is that the enemy is very strategic.
Yes, he
because
is.
what he will do is he's very deceptive. And what he will do is have you thinking that this is the worst ever. You're the only person going through this, and you will not get out of it. He will play with you so bad and make you feel this, this type of way, but not knowing, with God, I'm telling you, he can get you through those things.
Yes.
What happened to you in the past?
Yes.
Like you said, you mentioned that, Thunder, you said that doesn't indicate who you are and who you're going to be from what you went through. So when I look back over, from what you just showed over Oprah, I'm glad you highlighted her to show, listen, she is definitely an overcomer with all that she's been through.
And I like on that video because it made me think of Virginia when they said, "What's your story?
What's your story?
What's your story?" So, Virginia, thank you so much for sharing that story.
Thank you.
We're going to go ahead and give you just a few tips.
Yes.
First tip, I want to implore, I want you to understand, look at me. Reach out in some
Yes.
kind of way with someone.
Absolutely.
It's very important that you do not go through this alone.
Oh my God.
You are not alone. If you know no one, if you just so happen absolutely can't contact anybody, you have 3 people right here you can.
That's right.
Virginia,
That's right.
Facebook, it's under Virginia Logan, Shawuana, Yasmina.
That's right. We're there.
Reach out. We can help point you in the right direction. We're in the right now, especially with 2020, this technology age that we're in, and many of us are on Zooms, things for our work and things of that nature, which puts us on a camera, which means we are in front of people and in a greater way than we were in the past. So because of that, as you can see, we have it on the screen, and we are all going to do this.
Yes.
There is a signal that you put up if you are someone going through abuse, whether you're a man, whether you're a woman, whether you're a child, if you happen to be watching this. If you are going through abuse and you're on a Zoom, because we understand, not personally, but I understand why there would be you would be afraid to say something to someone.
Yeah.
I would be afraid too. But if you are in that situation, we have here on the screen here, it says
Yes.
palm to camera and tuck your thumb. So first one, you put your palm to camera
Yep.
and you tuck your thumb. And all 3 of us are showing you here on the screen. And then it said part 2, you cover your thumb. So if you happen to be in a Zoom because of class,
Yeah.
because of work, or something's going on, and your abuser may happen to be in the room, or whatever's happening, you could be in the middle of your lesson and
Yeah.
simply do this real quick.
Yeah.
So everyone watching, whether
Yes.
whatever side of the coin you're on,
Like that.
whatever part of the dice you're on, whatever side of the square,
Yes.
bring that out. Let people know what that symbol
what it
is.
is, yes.
Let them know. Let them and let everyone know what it means. Because if you happen to be in a Zoom with
don't know
someone
what it
and you
means.
see that,
Right.
you know what it is. You know they're not just saying, "Hey, oh God, that person's just excited." No,
Right.
you know what it means. So also we're going to give a few tips. Virginia so graciously gave some a moment ago, and she was saying how she had to come to herself, and she had to she reached out for counseling. These are tips that are very important. You have to discover yourself. You have to understand and of course these aren't things we're not saying you do like a light switch. Do it
Right.
today. The lights, boom, okay, it's done. Boom, you're fixed. No. With everything is process.
Absolutely.
Process everything. So you just do these things and believe in what you're doing, and over time, connecting these dots. You connect the dot, you're gonna get a picture.
Absolutely.
Just connect them right. I also want people to understand really quick that picture a building, like a brick wall, or and you have a hammer jack. And every day, you go by twice a day, and with that hammer jack, you just drrrr on the cement. You go by the next day, drrrr on the cement. You keep doing that, even that cement wall will fall down. So, for those of you who think that it's just a little slap, or he just said a few mean words, or she just said a few mean words, or she just did this, or he just, because it's both ways, know that over time, and Virginia shared that, you will fall apart.
Yeah.
Know that if you are the abuser, know what you're doing. You are truly causing demolition to happen to that body, just like it does on a wall. So really, we want you guys to understand. And those of you who may be the abuser, get help.
Get help.
You're not the enemy. You need help.
Yes.
So we don't want there to be in the shadows on either side. Both sides need help. Also, we know discovering your limiting beliefs. I heard Virginia talking about mindset, about the mindset of how she felt hopeless, but then how she feels powerful now. She was powerless, felt powerless, but now she feels powerful. Reassessing your values, understanding self-care needs.
Absolutely.
That's another thing. Boundaries. I heard Virginia talked about the friends, the people she's around now are positive.
Yes.
So it's very important that you surround yourself with people, that you engage with positive people. She did with her counselors, that you engage in we're all on social networks, that they're positive social networks. I know that Virginia's in in some positive social networks, so this I do know. Seek out new opportunities for growth and development, both personally and professionally.
Perfect.
Recognize that you have a choice in life
It's true.
and that you matter.
yes.
And practice self-compassion. So
That's good.
we often sometimes believe in things that may be our fault, we don't deserve. You do deserve.
Oh.
You are created in the image and likeness of God, with a plan and a purpose for this life, for yourself and for the kingdom.
That's it.
So you gotta so what we go through won't be lost. God's gonna use everything we went through,
Yes, he will.
and he's gonna use it the right way. Just like we use all the ingredients from a cake to make a nice, pretty cake. Well, he's gonna use all the ingredients from our life to make a nice, prosperous life. So know that you are not hopeless. Know that you are not alone.
That's right.
And I would like Lightning and Virginia, of course, to give us some closing words before we go.
Yes, I'll go. Definitely. I love the conversation on today. Those who have experienced any type of domestic, violence, any type of abuse, first and foremost, like we mentioned, get help. Please get help. Reach out. Those of you who are abusers, it's okay, because we want to get you the help that you need, okay? What's done, we can't change that, but we can, moving forward, get you better. Remember, hurting people hurt people, which is true. You know, I'm a reader. I love books. We just finished reading a book, Emotionally Healthy Spirituality by Peter Scazzaro. He talked about how sometimes we need to go backwards to move forward. So there's some issues we need to address in our past, our childhood, some things that may have happened that led us to be where we are right now. And that could be an abusive state. You're an abuser now because something happened to you. Let's go back to fix those things. Let's get ourselves emotionally whole, spiritually whole, so that way we're not hurting other people, because it impacts so many people. So let's get well, because I know you want to. And I feel like I'm talking to somebody right now who may be watching. Get the help you need.
Yeah.
You've been wanting to.
Yeah.
It's there for you. And you can be whole. Let me tell you this. God says, listen, he said, if you confess your sins to me, I am faithful and just to forgive you of your sins and cleanse you from all unrighteousness. Take hold of that, because he can fix you, and God is able to heal any and all brokenness.
Virginia, tell us. Give us some closing
Let's go.
comments,
Yes,
words,
ma'am.
whatever you would like. You want to sing a song? You can sing a song.
Right.
No.
And take us home.
No, I don't have much to say. What I want to say though is stay close to God. Right?
That's so good.
Believe that He will get you through this,
Yes.
because He will. You know,
Yes.
stay positive. Okay. Positivity in this situation is key. Just keep positive. Have that right mental attitude, and in the end, forgive.
Ah,
Yes.
Forgive. When you truly know that you've forgiven that person, you could pick up that phone and say, you know what, or you could, I don't know which way of communication. I communicate with him because we have children,
yes.
right? And I said, thank you. I said, thank you. He said, you're crazy. I said, no, I'm not. Thank you, because of the situation you put me in, I'm now a better person.
Yes.
I'm better than I was before. And now I could help a lot of people. So
Yes.
thank you, right? And genuinely, I know that I've forgiven him, because I was proud of myself. I thanked him for, bringing this ordeal, which opened my eye, So to everyone out there, stay strong, positive. You'll get through it.
Yes.
God by your side, can't go wrong. He will get you through.
That's good.
That right
That's
there.
good. Thank
Now
you,
this is a
Virginia.
miracle right now, what's about to happen. I'm not adding anything else. That was like a drop, mic drop. That was a mic drop.
That's it.
So on that note,
Yes.
we thank you for joining us
Thank you,
today.
everyone.
Again, I am Thunder.
And I am Lightning.
Together,
We are the perfect storm.
And today we were just so blessed
Yes, we
to have
were.
shared this day with Virginia. We love you, Lynetta.
Love you, Netta.
And congratulations also to Miss Layla, Lynetta's daughter.
Layla,
She
yes.
graduated yesterday.
Woo!
So
Go
now
ahead,
she's a high
Layla.
schooler. She has all big kids now.
Yes.
So, but we
Love
thank all of you. Thank you again, Virginia, for joining us.
Thank you.
Remember, all of what we talk about is important to a happier, healthier you. It's important to address mess. It's important to address the hard stuff.
Right.
So thank you so much.
Thank you.
And we look forward to seeing you. We're here every first and third Saturday,
First and third.
2 to 3 Pacific Standard Time.
Yes.
And thank you. Have a wonderful, wonderful Saturday. Thank you,
Bye,
Virginia.
everyone.
you get hungry, remember Barbecue Bob.
Location is 409 Fresno Street on the corner of Fresno and Jones on the Golden West side of Fresno. The phone number is 559-375-1259, and we invite you to come out. You will not be disappointed.